Hello, welcome back to Whiskey with E. I'm Eric. Now today we do have a whiskey with the E. Now, it is something that has recently just arrived in the market here in Australia. I don't know if it's a everyday product in America or not, but without further ado, it is Old Forester. This is the signature, comes in a lovely 1 litre bottle, bottled at 50% alcohol. Now, let me have a little read at the back for you. Old Forester, you're holding history. A spirit so finely crafted that in 1870, Bourbon pioneer George Garvin Brown bottled it, sealed it, signed it, and pledged it. This is mine. I guarantee every drop. Today, over 140 years later, nothing much has changed, yet we take our history neat. George Garvin Brown, founder. Please enjoy responsibly. Distilled, bottled by Brown-Forman Distilling Co. That's interesting. You know what? We're going to get it open and let's have a taste. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, so comes with some plastic here. Let me show you the bottle. Sorry if it is in reverse language. I really do not know how to make the camera not reverse language. I mean, makes you think, doesn't it? Like when you're looking in a mirror and you raise up your right hand and your reflection raises up its left hand, or you know what I mean? It makes you think, is that even you're seeing? Anyways, the plastic is off. It is not a cork. Screw cappy. Well, $80 screw cap this is. Alright, we're going to pour it up. Okay. And we're going to let it sit for a moment. Now, I was just thinking, distilled and bottled by Brown-Forman Distillery, but it is called Old Forester. Now, I understand Brown-Forman owns a lot of distilleries. I mean, Old Forester, Jack Daniels, Woodford Reserve, they own different Scotch distilleries, Ben Riach. I think they even own Irish, Slane or something, you know, so, but it got me thinking, why an Old Forester product isn't distilled and bottled by Old Forester? Do you get where I'm coming from? It's distilled and bottled by Brown-Forman, but it's the Old Forester label. I mean, lovely. This reminds me of the Statesman, the look of it. Anyways, back to the spirit itself. Colour. Colour is lovely. I mean, not too dark. I don't know why to me it appears like it's thin or something. Now I understand, I don't know if this is the signature release, you know, like is this a main staple, but I understand that they're equivalating this to like the single barrels, because the single barrels were released at this same proof, I think, 100 proof. So what I'm getting on the nose right now is like a sweet caramel, there is like a hint of vanilla there, but it's more like, it's just more sweeter. You could almost, I mean, their signature, that's why it's called signature. They're trying to give you the signature flavor profile that the distillery offers. What, Old Forester Distillery or George Brown? You know what I mean? Distilled and bottled by Brown-Forman Distilling Co. But we're having an Old Forester, so it got me thinking. Are the other Old Forester releases from here, or is it from Old Forester? Anyways, so you could almost say it's banana-ish, but not like a real maple-ish wood banana like you know, the Jack Daniels. There is a bit of wood presence there. I mean, I understand that maybe this release, they might use heat cycled warehouses. Alright, don't quote me on that, but that's what I heard. So if everyone doesn't know, if temperatures could get too cold or something like this, if they had heating that is frequent through the year, then that temperature could be, controlled. Hence why Scotch whiskey, if you're looking natural colour, half the time it's not this dark. No, it's real light still because of the weather in Scotland. It's cold, so it takes a lot for it to draw out the colour out of the wood. But in America, in heat cycled warehouses, seems like it's doing a good job. Anyways, let's have a taste. Blabbering on, here we go. Cheers everyone. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying maybe it feels slightly ever so thin. Like there's an impression that it could be so much more if they didn't water it down to 50%. But judging by how it is at 50%, are you getting the flavours? I think I am getting the flavours that they wanted to give me. But to me, maybe I'm just used to wild turkey where it's more dark and probably more dark. Maybe George. Why do I keep saying George? I'm thinking George Brown or George Foreman or something. Boxing. Yeah, Brown Foreman. My goodness. I wonder if their distillery puts in the spirit into the barrel at a high proof, and then they water it down heaps so then it's noticeable. Whereas wild turkey may put it in at a lower cast, alcohol strength. Do you know what I'm saying? So if it's been put into the barrel at a lower proof, then when they're, proofing it down with the water, you're not telling that it's totally watery, because, you know what I mean? Anyways, getting nerdy or something with this. Let's have another sip. Who has tried this Old Forester signature, or do you enjoy Old Forester products? I mean, I am yet to get fully impressed with an Old Forester product, but I haven't been trying the higher tier stuff, so maybe there's a thing. It is very corn forward, I guess. You are getting that. I mean, not craft like Texas whiskey or anything. Now, if I did not mention the mash bill to this, I believe it was 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. So high corn, that's for sure. Alright, let's have another taste. Here we go, guys. Cheers, everyone. Drink responsibly. Especially if it comes in a 1 litre bottle. Well, obviously you're not going to want to try to finish that unless you're just drinking to get drunk or something, but you'd want to savour this, maybe even make some blends out of it. I never pour anything down the drain. Cheers, everyone. Even that spice, it's dying down on the end there. I guess when you're getting acclimated to it. But is it starting to get flat, a little boring? Maybe. Let's have another sip, here we go. See? No scripts, no edits. This is just me sharing my thoughts, my experience. Here we go. I think to someone who isn't used to too oaky, you might think this is a bit tannic, a slight bit woody, you know. Those heat cycled warehouses, it's almost like trying to speed up the process of time. So maybe it's similar to if you had smaller barrels, smaller cars, smaller barrels, to try to extract that colour and that flavour in shorter time, rather than a big, science! Come on, guys. No. So yeah, I don't know if that's coming through, but I'm getting this impression that it's not too old. It's not like your sweet aged oak. It's more you're getting that oak flavours, but it's not coming across like it's naturally aged sweet oak, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm going to be repeating myself, but let's finish this glass and let's conclude it up, eh? Yeah, why not? Cheers, everyone. Here we go. Starting to almost lose the sweetness in the front, and then it just starts to become more just easy drinking, I guess. A lot of the corn forward kind of notes. Spice kind of dies off. I mean, do I recommend it? For something to try, because you don't know if it's going to be a staple product, something to add to your shelf. Yeah, try it. At least it comes in a litre bottle, $80, litre bottle, 50%. Like Wild Turkey 101's $80 here in Australia, so and that only comes in a 700ml bottle. So there you go. There's a value to this, so I'm sure this makes sales. Maybe people are trying it, even those fellas that are mixing it with cola or drinking it with ice cubes or something. I don't know, maybe it holds up the ice cubes. You know what, the only way to find out is if I go get some ice cubes. You know what, I'm gonna go grab some ice cubes. And we got ice cubes somehow. 2 ice cubes, no, maybe just 1, not 2, just a quick one. We won't let it dissolve too much. There we go, a quick swirl. Old Forester signature on the rocks. Look at him, he's on the rocks. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, I could, on a hot summer day, it's definitely a lot more sweeter with the ice cubes. There you go. Maybe start off adding a drop of water in, seeing how that changes the 50%, maybe dropping it down if you're a Scotch drinker. But the ice cubes, you wouldn't want to let it sit in the ice cubes for too long, because I think it will become way too watery and it will become too diluted. Yeah. Yep. Anyways, there you go. Everyone that knows me knows that normally barrel proof stuff is what I like. You know, if I was to put an ice cube in things, you know, it does chill it down a bit, takes away that bite, brings out more sweetness. Yep. I'm not saying it's way too watery now, but it's getting there. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Drink responsibly, don't drink and drive. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy Old Forester products that is distilled and bottled by Brown Forman Distillery. Why not the Old Forester Distillery? Too good to make your own juice to label it as your product? I don't get it. Confusion. Some thoughts for the whiskey tube community. Anyways, lasers.